Hi class, so today we covered graphing lines from story problems. Now, to kind of help you guys remember how to do things, when we approach a story problem, I always am going to circle the numbers I'm going to be using. And since I know these are going to be linear equations or lines, I'm also going to be circling units so that I can kind of figure out which unit goes on my x-axis and which unit goes on my y-axis. Now, in science, you guys are also using the acronym TAILS. And so this acronym is also going to help us as we are doing our things. All of our graphs must have a title. They must have the axes labeled. They must have intervals that make sense with the problem. You must draw in the line. And you must say the solution in a sentence. Okay, so we'll be looking at those for the whole time as well. So this was the homework we started yesterday. So let's go through and do one or two of these together. Georgie joins a gym. She pays $25 to sign up and then $15 each month. So I'm looking at this and I'm going to circle that $25 and then $15 each month. The word each, per, for, rate, all of those indicate my slope. So now my slope is $15 over 1 month. Okay. Now I'm thinking about this, and we've been practicing our slope for a while, which is our change in our y over our change in our x. So when I think about that, then I know that my cost is on top, so that's my y, and my months are on bottom because that's my x. Okay. Now, what am I going to call this graph? There's lots of things I could call it, but really it makes the most sense as gym costs, because we want to know how much she pays to go to the gym. Now, we have the title, we have the axes labeled, now we have to do our intervals. Well, we count months by ones usually, so that's what I'm going to use on the bottom. Now, let's see if it makes sense to do the same thing for our money. Are we going to count by ones? No, because both 15 and 25 are pretty high, and I don't have enough spaces going up. But I could go by fives. So I'm going to label every other one, but they'll be going up by fives. So, I mean, here's 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay. Now, what is my B? Well, B is the other number that they gave me. B is that $25. So I'm going to put my first dot at 25, just like we have been. Now, for 1 month, I'm going to pay $25 plus $15. So I'm going to end up paying $40. And then I can make my line off of that, and I can see that it's going up rather steeply. So maybe my intervals on the y-axis isn't quite right, but live and learn. Okay, so now it says, what is my equation? Well, when we're working with equation, we're going to use that y equals mx plus b, and we're going to fill in what we know. Y and x stays put, but my m is 15, and my b is 25. We don't need to worry about the write it. But now, so how much will Georgie have paid if she uses the gym for 5 months? Well, that's off of my graph. I can't see because it doesn't go that far. So what I'm going to do is I know that months are my x, so I'm going to write out my equation. Y equals, and then we have 15x plus 25. And I'm going to say, well, I'm going to take out my x, and I'm going to put in times 5. So I'm going to do that in my calculator, and I will find out how much how much she's going to pay. And remember, because it's a how much situation, it's going to be a dollar sign, and it's going to end up being $100. Okay, now let's try the next one. All right, try this one by yourself, circle, and see how far you can get without me. Okay, so I've circled $50 and $2.50 each week. Okay, so Edwin has $50 in his account, and he starts spending the money, and he will spend $2.50 each week. So I can see that $2.50 is going to be my slope because I have 2 units. But we also need to talk about this for a second. I'm spending that money. So that is a negative, okay? I'm spending that money. And I told you time and time again, I don't want decimals. I don't want decimals. So it's negative 5 over 2. And then my beginning point is 50. So now we're going to label our thing Edwin's spending. And again, I can see that my top number over here is going to be the cost in money, or amount spent, and then this down here is going to be weeks. And again, we count weeks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And money, I'm going to also count money going up by 5s, just like we did last time. Okay, now I'm going to make my line, my beginning point, and then it says I'm going to go down 5, but don't do just down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. That's not going to work this time because our units have changed. Each box is worth 1 5 amount. So I get to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So there's where my line's going to go. And we can kind of see the pattern. There we go. There's my line. So now it says, what's my equation? Well, again, we're going to use y equals mx plus b, where I know my y stays the same, my x stays the same, and now I plug in the numbers we learned on the side. So that's negative 5 over 2, and that's a positive 50. We don't use the write it. Now, after how many weeks will Edwin run out of money? Well, I'm going to think about that. Money is my y, so if I have y equals negative 5 halves x plus 50. I could solve for x by putting 0 in for y. But I could also look at my graph. And I see in my graph that Edwin has $25 left over at 10 weeks. So in 10 weeks, he spent $25. So then I can logically conclude that it will take him 20 weeks. Okay. All right, guys, I hope these videos have helped remind you how to do this. Have a great day. See you in class.